And greetings, boys and girls around the world. All you people out there that love polar bears. I have a soft spot for animals. I hate to see any animal suffer. But I don't believe the polar bears are especially suffering because of CO2, because of increasing CO2. I don't believe the polar bears are suffering because of increasing CO2. See if you can follow my logic. Polar bears eat seal. Seal eat fish. Fish eat plankton. Where does plankton come from? Phytoplankton is photosynthetic. It uses sunlight to combine CO2 with water, the same as vegetation on land. Deep in the ocean are cold currents of water rich in CO2, which has been there for hundreds of years. So I refer to it as ancient CO2. And it's not unusual. It's the state of affairs. This is what happens day in and day out. These cold currents rise to the surface in two places that I know of, two or three places. And you can research this if you Google thermohaline current, thermohaline circulation. This cold water from the ocean depths, rich in CO2 and nutrients, sustain the phytoplankton, which sustain ultimately the seals on the North Pole. And they also sustain us. This CO2 sustains us. It makes our crops grow. I maintain that the additional CO2 that has entered the atmosphere, bringing the concentration up towards 400 parts per million, which actually is minute. 400 parts per million? That's 4 parts per 10,000. 4 parts per 10,000. That is minute. Where's the heat that the IPCC predicted when CO2 increased? They said it would be amplified by water vapor, when in fact the heat is just not anywhere to be found except in the oceanic warm pool. You can Google that, oceanic warm pool in the Pacific near the equator. This is sort of like the origin of food. Yet the ecobots are trying to convince you that CO2 is a poison. Protein is composed of CO2. The food we eat, starch, sugar, is composed of CO2. CO2 is not a poison. It's not a pollutant. The atmosphere of the Earth is actually CO2 deficient. More would be better. It hasn't caused any additional heating of the planet. Where is it? Where is this heat that was predicted? It's not in the upper atmosphere. It's not in the oceans in general. It is where it always was, the Pacific warm pool, which I call in one of my videos the Pacific hot zone. It's where this nutrient-rich, deep water, cold water, rises to the surface and exhales its CO2 in order to feed the planet.